The Steelers are facing more than just losses on the field. Officiating has been a real thorn in the team's side. In their last clash against the Eagles, a scuffle between Darnell Washington and Darius Slay turned into an even bigger controversy off the field, with George Pickens, despite being sidelined with an injury, not missing the chance to criticize the calls. As if that weren't enough, Mike Tomlin's decision to play it safe at a crucial moment didn't sit well with the fans either. Want to understand how all of this affects the team? Don't miss a single detail in this video, and be sure to leave a like to support the channel. George Pickens might have been absent during the Steelers' 27-13 loss to the Eagles on Sunday night, but he still made his presence felt off the field, especially when it came to questioning the officiating. The play in question occurred in the back of the end zone, where Steelers tight end Darnell Washington shoved Eagles cornerback Darius Slay in the middle of a scuffle that quickly escalated. The result? 2 penalties against Pittsburgh and nothing for the home team. Clearly frustrated, Pickens made sure to voice his displeasure after watching a video shared by a fan. The video, posted by NFL on CBS on Instagram, showed the fight from closer angles, and the wide receiver wasted no time in the comments. "But we got flagged." But don't think this is revenge against the Steelers. Vomit emoji. The statement, dripping with irony, reflects his and many fans' dissatisfaction with what happened. The problem didn't stop there. The decision left the Steelers frustrated on the field, forcing the team to retreat 15 yards and settle for a Chris Boswell field goal instead of attempting something bigger. Head coach Mike Tomlin didn't hide his displeasure after the game, stating that the referee's explanation for the scuffle simply wasn't enough. Alan Eck, the lead official, explained to the press that according to him and his crew, 2 Steelers players, Darnell Washington III and Calvin Austin III, upper 19, committed unsportsmanlike conduct after the play ended. The officiating crew reviewed the play in New York, but according to Eck, didn't find video evidence of any Eagles player throwing punches, which justified the controversial decision to penalize only Pittsburgh. It's worth noting that Pickens, in addition to being sidelined with a hamstring injury, has already had his share of officiating controversies recently. Earlier this month, he was penalized for unsportsmanlike conduct for making an imaginary gun gesture after a big catch against the Bengals. The catch? Just hours later, Bills quarterback Josh Allen performed a similar, though not identical, celebration and wasn't penalized. Coincidence or not, Pickens clearly feels the Steelers are being treated differently. In the end, the combination of questionable decisions and penalties proved costly for the Steelers in a game where every mistake was magnified. And for Pickens, this seems to be yet another example of how the team is, in his words, suffering a kind of revenge. So, Steelers fans, what do you think about Pickens' criticism and the officiating controversies? Leave your opinion in the comments. But be prepared, because Mike Tomlin's next decision will divide the fan base even further, and might have been too costly. With the Steelers trailing 27-13 early in the fourth quarter and facing a 4th and 7 at the Eagles' 46-yard line, Mike Tomlin made a decision that sparked plenty of debate. He opted to send out punter Corliss Waitman instead of going for it. The result? The decision backfired. On Monday, Tomlin explained the reasoning behind the choice, saying the distance didn't seem favorable. "If it had been a 4th and less than 5, I definitely would have gone for it," Tomlin said in his weekly press conference. From an analytical standpoint, the farther you are from the line to gain, the lower the chances of success. We had 3 timeouts, and I bet we could stop them, get the ball back, and play the field position game. The distance was just a bit uncomfortable for me. The problem is the Eagles not only didn't return the ball, but also closed the game in crushing fashion. With an impressive 21-play, 88-yard drive, they drained the final 10 minutes and 29 seconds off the clock. Meanwhile, the Steelers' offense turned in a pitiful performance, totaling just 163 yards, the team's lowest mark since 2010, when they managed only 127 yards in a 19-11 win against the Titans. The stats highlight the Eagles' dominance. They converted 10 of 17 third downs, while Pittsburgh managed just 3 of 10. In time of possession, the difference was staggering, 39-52 for Philadelphia versus just 20-08 for the Steelers. Overall, the Eagles outgained Pittsburgh in total yards, 401 to 163, making it clear just how lopsided the game was. Although the 14-point difference on the scoreboard doesn't look extreme, anyone who watched the game could see the Eagles are on a completely different level. Tomlin defended his decision by putting faith in the defense. "I believe our defense is capable of getting off the field," he explained. "That was probably one of the reasons for the punt on 4th and 7. I understand how the game was unfolding, but I've known these guys for a long time. In decisive moments, my confidence in them is unshakable." Despite that confidence, the defense didn't deliver, and the decision ultimately buried the Steelers' chances of a comeback. Honestly, fans, it's hard to defend Tomlin's approach. In a decisive game, opting to punt on 4th and 7 reflects a concerning lack of aggressiveness. To make matters worse, the defense he relied on simply didn't show up. It's long past time for serious adjustments because, as things stand, the Steelers are far from competing with the best. If you want to keep up with more updates and know everything about your team, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news.